Hey guys, welcome to another speed build. Today is just going to be a regular house. It's actually a townhouse, and I was inspired to build a townhouse because one, I was trying to build something for my Itsuki family because, like I've said in the Let's Play, I'm planning on getting them to move really, really soon, and also because a few weeks ago I spent I think no, it was just a night. I spent the night at my dad's girlfriend house for my son's birthday because we were going to the zoo and it's pretty far away from my house. And she actually lives in like a community full of townhouses, and it's actually like a nightmare for me personally because like it's like in one of those like kind of gated communities where every single house is the same and you're like sandwiched in to each other, and that to me is like a complete nightmare. Like, of course, I would be thankful, to have a roof over my head, but like, if I could live anywhere, it definitely wouldn't be like, I don't know, it's just something about those kind of neighborhoods. They just give me a weird vibe. But this house is in Newcrest, and it's one, I think I'm actually in the process of building like three other houses, because I'm just trying to like have like a variety of different houses for my Itsuki family to choose from. And in the middle of building this, originally I plan on like keeping the inside of the house empty, and I was just gonna do the outside and have it so like the Itsuki family is like, I don't know, like having like a walkthrough of all the different houses with a realtor or something, kind of like realistic like that. Um, but then I changed my mind once I got into, because usually with all my builds, like usually it helps for me to create some kind of story when I'm building, and also because I went way over budget with this house. So I was like, they're not going to be able to afford this. So I'm just going to create a sim to move in. Um, and at first I was going to have the use some custom content, but recently I've been playing without custom content because I literally took all my custom content out of my game, because it was just super laggy and kind of like broken, and I didn't know which mods were doing it, so I just decided to get rid of all my mods and start completely over. So this house I think is completely custom content free. Originally I did plan on having a garage, and but it wasn't working because I was trying to manipulate the terrain to like, because I wanted the house to be on a foundation, but I couldn't figure out how to get the terrain so I can like make it like a upslope, like a ramp or something to go inside the house. So I just had to cut out the garage, and it actually worked pretty nice because I had completely forgotten that I needed a living room, and I feel like if I had kept the garage, I don't know where I would have put the living room. But there's also two bedrooms, one and a half bathrooms, and also a walk-in closet for one of the I also feel like it's important to note that when it comes to this build, I change my mind about so many different things. I don't know, like when I'm in the process of building, it seems like it's really difficult, and I have a hard time like setting my mind on something. Like I'm really a do as I go type of person. Like I might look for reference pictures, but sometimes, well, most, like I feel like 90% of the time, even though I have a reference picture, the end result of what I get, it looks it looks so different from the reference, and I always end up changing my mind 50 million times about like, I don't know, the wallpaper, the I don't know what's it called, it's gonna come to me. Oh, the swatches. I always change my mind about the swatches. Like I changed the windows 15 times. I changed the siding or the bricks that I use for the house 15 times. It's just like, I don't know, like I, in my mind, like I'm such a perfectionist, and I don't know, like I'll like, because this build took me quite a long time. I think it's because I was so indecisive about a lot of things. So it did, I don't know how many hours exactly it took, but I think I did, out of, I think it was maybe like 6 hours worth of gameplay, and I was able to narrow it down to like 40 minutes. So yeah, like 6 hours for something that isn't even like that big was, I don't know, it's kind of like seems a little too much for me, because I feel like in that amount of time I probably would should have been able to like build something even bigger. But I don't know, like I would be in game and like I would have to like pull myself away because I was so critical about how the build was going and I was so unsure of myself and what I was doing, and like I would take a break and then come back to it and it's like, oh man, like I didn't even realize I don't know, it's like I actually was amazed by the work that I was doing, but when I was in the moment of doing it, I wasn't really happy with how the build was going. I don't know. But I feel that kind of happens with every single one of my builds. And so I don't know. I'm hopefully over time like I'll be able to get out of that habit and I'll just be able to just enjoy what I'm doing. I really like the outside of this house. Like I said, I was inspired by my dad's girlfriend house, which is a townhouse, and I actually don't mind townhouses. I think it's just the fact that her house was like sandwiched in between all these different houses, and then you have like neighbors on both sides of you. You have houses behind yours, and then you have houses in front of yours, and it's just like just a cluster of houses, and it's just so claustrophobic, and they only have like a small little backyard. And even my dad was like, they don't really, you don't see nobody outside, and it's like crazy because I don't know, I'm an outdoorsy type person. I also live in the country, and I feel like my dream house would also be like away from people, like in the middle of nowhere or in the woods or something. um but I feel for this particular build, like I feel like this is honestly a place where I would live. Because you have the yard space, you have a backyard, and it's fenced in, which gives you more privacy. I actually do plan on building another house that's kind of similar to this. Obviously, there'll be some kind of differences, but I do want to, in the lot beside it, I do want to build like another townhouse because I feel like it'll give the town some type of symmetry. And I am going to create the Sims that live here, and when I'll kind of explain who they are and what they're like too, also like later on in the build. Because I don't know, like it went from me trying to build just one house to for the Itsuki family, and I have a hard time staying in budget. And the Itsuki family, they are trying to work with the budget, so I ended up building like I said, I'm in the process of three other houses, so that's basically four houses already in Newcrest, and so I might as well go ahead and just do a Newcrest save and fill up all the lots with not just residential lots but also community lots. Okay. So originally, I did plan on keeping the interior of the house, or even just the decorations of the house. I planned on keeping it very, very minimal because it's like I don't know if you've ever watched like I know like most, if you're interested in building, then you probably have watched like those channels that be on HGTV or I don't know, like any of those like houses where they're like doing tours and stuff. And I feel I wanted to give it kind of that type of feel where you're just, they just have it for decorations to give the home buyers an idea of how to furnish the house or how the house will look once they buy it and they can, furnish it. I I've even heard the term turnkey, which is I think that it comes ready to, just live in, and I think the furniture basically comes with the house. But I didn't want it to give, at first I didn't want to give it like a whole bunch of personality because I wanted it to be like, I don't know, kind of like a scene. Like the realtor or something, they just kind of like set it up to look nice for the person to come and buy it. But then once I realized that I was like kind of already over budget for what the Isuki family is kind of looking for, I just decided to, give this build to a certain family. And so I'll go ahead and start talking about this family. I haven't actually made the Sims that will live here, but I did get like an idea or like some type of story. So when I do create these Sims, I will upload them to the gallery. I'll also add this build to the gallery. So if you want to play with that family in this house, because I think their story will be pretty interesting and fun. So in my head, I have this house belonging to a single mother, and in my head, I don't know, she just feels like a Cassie to me. I don't know why, but I just feel like her name will be Cassie. And she lives here alone with her two daughters. She has a teen daughter and a child daughter. And Cassie, the mother, she is unfortunately divorced. She is a single mother. I don't think I will make the father. So as of right now in my story in my head, he's just MIA. She doesn't know where he's at or what he's doing, but she's just trying to provide the best life possible for her daughter. She is a professor at a private school, but unfortunately, well, not really unfortunately, but yeah, she her children are in public school because for most teachers' salaries, it's not a lot, and so she basically has to provide this. I mean, it's a pretty big house for her to take care of her on her own, because she is a single mom and she has two daughters. So her daughters have to go to public school, and I felt like because Cassie is a single mom and she's trying to make extra money, she also tutors her students here at home. In the living room, I added like a chess table, and she has a lot of bookcases because Cassie loves to read. She's very intelligent, and because she's so busy with her students, her daughters, she doesn't really try to go out that much, and I feel like that would be pretty interesting to like try and give her a life. Like she's basically put her life into her books, and maybe that may be something else that she might be interested in, is creating her own books. Maybe that's like her dream of become a writer. So one, she can, she's so interested in books, it would be really nice for her to read a book of her own, but maybe she got so tied up in her work and her responsibilities that she, lost focus of that dream and didn't have time to dedicate to that dream. But I feel like, if you play with her and let her dreams come true, then maybe, she would be able to provide a better situation for her and her daughters, and they won't need the father in their life. But I do feel like her oldest daughter and her youngest daughter are like kind of like, they're really proud of their mom. They really appreciate all that she does for them. And I feel like the oldest daughter, the teen daughter, is kind of like, also because Cassie, the mom, she does tutor her private school students here at the home, and it's kind of like, I don't know, I feel like the teen daughter kind of struggles with that a bit, because I kind of think that she wishes, her mom didn't have to do that. And I feel like, her private school students kind of like rub it in to the teen daughter's face, and it kind of affects her to the point where she's kind of like an overachiever, because the students that her mom teaches, everything is handed to them. Their parents pay for everything. Their parents pay for the best schools. And for Cassie's teenage daughter, she understands that, her mom isn't going to be able to provide every single thing for her. She's not going to have opportunities handed to her. She's going to have to earn everything. So for the oldest daughter, she's basically an overachiever, and she gets perfect grades at her school. She's in doing all these different clubs and activities. She's a babysitter, trying to help her mom out with some of the bills. Well, not really help with the bills, but she's not trying to be a burden on her mom. And I feel like the youngest daughter, she kind of resents that her sister is such an overachiever. I feel like, she's just interested in being a child right now. I feel like with, Cassie's oldest daughter, she kind of like grew up too fast trying to help her mom, take on some of her weight, and trying to, help her out in the house whenever she can. So maybe she was like trying to be super neat, and maybe I think the youngest sister didn't like that so much. I think she just wanted a sister and not a second mom. So the youngest daughter, she's kind of just interested in doing her own thing and being a child, and I don't think she's going to be rebellious too much, but I did kind of want to give her like a edge almost. Well, I haven't created her yet, but I do think she's a little more edgier and a little bit more rebellious than her older sister. Like her older sister is like super preoccupied with being the perfect daughter, and the youngest daughter, she's not a bad kid. She just, I don't know, she just doesn't want to be perfect. She just wants to be a child. So that's pretty much it about the family. Now I want to go back into the build, because now I'm, getting into the interior of the build. I did want to give the home, like, I didn't want to make it like super duper modern. I kind of wanted to make it seem like it's been lived in before. Like this isn't a brand new home that just sprung up. I think, I don't know, like it's something about like especially with the townhouse that my dad's girlfriend lives in. I hope he never sees this video, because I'm not really talking about bad about the house. It's just I don't like those type of communities, because to me they kind of feel like they're people who try to, I don't know, like I don't know. It's just something about those kind of communities, and like I don't know. Maybe it's just my own perceptions of the people who live in those communities, but it's kind of like those people. I don't know. In my head, it's like people who live in those kind of communities are super. I don't know. obsessed with like wealth and showing off wealth, and I feel like those type of houses, they don't have any like personalities. Like if you look at those houses, they all look the same, and I feel like if you went in their house, like I feel like, I don't know, it just feels like, I don't know. I didn't go in all of them, but I feel like if I went into all of them, they would all be the same, or they would have some type of the same decorations and stuff like that. And I really hate that. Um, but anyway, back to this build. I wanted to make it look like it's been lived in before. It's not like a new home. It's an old home, and it has personality. I feel like that I showed that with like the darker wood, because I feel like with more modern builds, you would see more white colored wood and like white floors and white walls. But I feel like, I don't know, like that's the thing with me too. Like if I'm building a family home and I see, I don't know, like I'll see some people who build, not talking ish about like anybody else who does builds, but like I'll see them and like they'll have white walls, white floors, white carpet, white rugs, white couches. And like if this is a family home and you have kids and you have like pets, like white everything is not going to work, because 9 times out of 10, if like, I don't know, like I feel like this is like a debate, because I feel like some people think that their kids will be like super perfect and super clean, but like no, kids are not that way. Like kids are like Tasmanian devils, basically. Like they like to destroy stuff, they spill stuff, they like to randomly try, like the toddlers in the game, like out of nowhere they try to like make messes on the floor with paint and stuff. And I feel like that's the same with kids. Like if your kid did that on like white, yes, you could clean it up, but like I feel like you wouldn't really ever be able to clean it up. Not the same, it won't look like the way that it did before. So I feel like if you are the type who wants white couches, white rugs, I feel like you have to have the money to replace everything. And I feel like the people who lived in this home before, and also Cassie, they're not the type of family who can just replace everything. So they need, everything to be family friendly, so that the house can actually be lived in and look like it's been lived in, and that the house can be enjoyed and you don't have to worry about messing anything up, because it can just be wiped off and you won't notice it too much. But I absolutely love that I use like the brick inside the living room. I just want to say I think that's probably like my favorite part of this whole build. I think the living room is one of my favorite rooms in this build. Also, I think Cassie's room is one of my favorite rooms. And also, in the like towards the back, like leading into the porch, I think it was like a laundry slash mudroom. I'm not exactly sure what a mudroom is. I assume it's just like a room that you like if you're playing outside and you like put all your dirty shoes and stuff like that right there, so you don't like bring it into the house. And I just decided to add laundry, which of course Cassie's oldest daughter, she always does the laundry, because she doesn't want her mom to have to worry about that. And also the like this fireplace, it kind of looked like old and like it's been there for a while, and it's like, I don't know, like I feel like even though the house has been there for a while, I think that's what drew Cassie into it, because I feel like she's a history teacher. Well, I didn't say that before, but I feel like she would be a history professor. And so like she's really into books and stuff, so I think English and history are definitely her favorite subjects. So I feel like she just came into the house and was able to see like the history of it, and because it was affordable for her and her children, like she was like, heck yeah, I need to get this house. We're gonna love this house. It has plenty of space for the three of us, and even though she has like these garden planters, I don't really see Cassie out here too much gardening. I don't know, maybe in her like spare time. I feel like if you play with this family, I think like the main story is trying to get Cassie her life back. And I don't know, like maybe she just moved into this town and she's, she needs to interact with her neighbors, because I feel like that's something maybe she didn't do when her children were a little bit younger, because, she had to be with them. But now that she has her teenage daughter, is able to help out with her youngest daughter, maybe she can go out and venture more and do the things that she's always wanted to do. Because I will be doing more builds. I'll be finishing the builds that I'm currently working on, and I'll also be making townies for Newcrest. because I want the town to seem alive. Like, I want the Ituki family to have neighbors and other people to interact with. And I feel like Alexis, she would really enjoy like inviting the neighbors over for dinners, or like even like baking things and taking it to the neighbor house to like, I don't know. I think Cassie and Alexis would get along pretty well, even though because they're kind of different, because Alexis has always been like the stay-at-home mom, and Cassie has always been working, but I feel like they would get along pretty well, and I feel like that's something that both Cassie and Alexis need. They need friendships. They need connections and bonds with other mothers who understand them, or have some type of understanding with them. Um, but back to the build, I guess, because one thing I'm actually like I'm actually like really pleased with the layout of the house, because that's one of the last things that I tend to focus on when I'm doing builds. Usually I'm more focused on the exterior of the house and making sure that the exterior matches um what the reference, well, not really match, because like I said, the end result never looks like the reference picture, but I did want it to make it look like what inspired me to build this build in the first place. um so I do tend to focus on the outside so much so, and I tend to forget the interior of the house. And like, this is the mudroom I was talking about earlier, which I absolutely love. I love that space. And honestly, I love the lighting. Like, I like the way the lights shine through the window and like cast shadows and stuff like that. And I didn't want to make the houses too bright with lights. Like, I like the lights that I use, because they light up the space, but it kind of has like this yellowy type of it's hue. They have like this yellowy hue to them, which I really like, and it also like feeds into the feel that this is a lived in home, and it's really comfy and cozy. But what was I talking about? Oh, I was talking about like the layout. I did have, like, in the reference photo, I did have floor plans, and but like, of course, The Sims, you can't really have you can't really go by the floor plans that come with a reference picture, because this is a game, and we have limitations in reference. Like, when you're building a house in real life, you kind of don't have the same limitations that the game has. You can kind of like build it as you want to, and then you also have to make sure that the build is functional and the Sims can get to stuff. So that kind of like limits certain things. But I did want to, like I said, I wanted to have it like kind of minimal. Like, I do, like, when I do play the game, um I try to like include like family portraits and like just stuff that maybe the children make. So I try not to have too many decorations, because that can like be brought in later on, especially like if, like, with my Suki family, like when I do build their house, I'm not gonna have a whole lot of decorations, because that's something that they will bring with them, or they'll get along the lines. And oh yeah, and like with this bathroom, I did have to make like some modifications to my mudroom, which I loved so much, because I was like, with three Sims, just having 1.5 bathrooms might not be enough. So I was like, I needed space for another shower, which I did that. And I also have like a story, no, not a story, a study downstairs for the mom, which might be really cool, because that might be like her sanctuary. I feel like in this house she does have a couple of different sanctuaries that she can go to find solitude and find her time, like her me time. And I feel like her study is one of those rooms, because she wants to get back into writing and do what she loves. And like, also, I feel like I don't know, like, sometimes I have a feeling I don't know. I never thought about using like bookcase as decorations. I don't know. I have one bookcase, and that's in my room. But I feel like in my dream home, I would want to have like multiple bookcases full of books, because I want to collect books one day. Like, if I could have like, on an island. Like, I saw a post the other day, and it was like, if you were stranded on an island and you can only have 3 items, I do feel like one of my items would be a book or a bookcase. If I could like cheat the system and like just have a bookcase full of books, and like have that just be counted as one item, I'm hoping. But if not, like, I would pick, like, I don't know what book I would pick, but like, I don't know, I would pick like one book. It would have to be a book, I think. And I feel like I don't know. I feel like that's why I like this family so much. Or even though I haven't even created them yet, I feel like I really like this family, and I probably would play with them for like a little bit. I don't think I would include this in like my regular um, let's play, but definitely like when I make these Sims, I probably will play with them a little bit. Um, I don't know, just because they seem interesting, and it's not like my usual story that I usually go for when I'm playing The Sims. And like you can see in the study again, like I mentioned before, like I wanted to keep it like really like minimal lighting, especially in like the bedrooms and the study. I wanted to give it like this kind of like comfy like feel. I don't know, like I feel like fluorescent lights are my thing, and I didn't want to make all the rooms like super bright. Like this is an older house too, so maybe like the light fixtures um aren't super updated, and you kind of have to like bring your own lamps because all the rooms don't have overhead lights, and I feel like that's kind of like underestimated because I feel like in more modern homes, like I don't really study homes, but I feel like in more modern homes you kind of see more of these like elaborate light fixtures overhead and like all the rooms. And for this house, I didn't want to have all that. Like I wanted to have more like lamps and tabletop lamps and more stuff like that instead of having like huge overhead lights. And also in the rooms, I didn't want to have like huge overhead lights either because I don't know, like I wanted to, of course, I think I put fans in the rooms because I feel like I don't know, that's more realistic. And right here upstairs, I wanted to have like another like comfy spot for Cassie. Like she can come up here and read also, because I felt like the lighting up here was also really nice. And also, I forgot to mention that they'll also be having a cat, because I think that's really cute, like having the two daughters, the mom, and a cat, of course. And I had to like move the windows because like that was another thing that I did in this build that I've never really done before, which is like use the medium height walls. I never ever use the medium or the high height walls only because they look kind of weird, and honestly I do believe they look kind of weird in this build, but I kind of like had to like ignore it because I felt like it fit with what I was trying to accomplish with this build, which is to kind of make it look like a townhouse. I feel like I could have achieved the same thing if I had like made the foundation height higher, but I didn't want to do that because like I said originally, I wanted to have a garage, but it just wasn't working. And I think in originally when I was looking for townhouses to build, I think I wanted to have like 3 bedrooms, or at least like have 2 bedrooms upstairs and like maybe convert the garage into a bedroom, because of course in The Sims you can't have a functioning garage because we don't have cars. I mean, you could get like one of those decorative cars, but they don't work. So I feel like it's more, I don't know, useful to use that space if you're like because walls in The Sims is really expensive. So I feel like it would just be better to, if you're gonna pay money to have extra walls just to build a garage, then it should at least be functional. And also in the backyard, I did have a shed, and I didn't know what to do with that space, so I just stuck a treadmill in there. Just, I don't know. I don't feel like Cassie is the type to want a treadmill, but I feel like her teen daughter, because she is an overachiever, like I feel like she's like the cheerleader. She's probably into like some type of academic club or debate club or something like that. So I feel like she does want to like keep her appearance. I feel like also she will also, because I feel like Cassie's children is really pretty. Like I went super like, I don't know, like way ahead. I got way ahead of me when I was creating the story in my head, and like in my head I feel like Cassie's oldest daughter, she's also doing some modeling work. Maybe she wants to be an actress, and she knows that her mom isn't going to be able to pay for like acting lessons and photo shoots and all that kind of stuff. So that's another reason why so she's such an overachiever, because she knows she's gonna have to earn everything on her own. Of course, her mom is gonna help her where she can, but ultimately she's gonna have to do things on her own. But I do have a shed, and like I said, I didn't know what to do with it. Like at first, when I plan on having this house be for the Suki family. I was like, this shed would be like a perfect place for Alexis to go to like convert into an art studio just for her, so she like get away from the house and just paint, and she can like feel like she has her own space. Like Kane, he goes to work, he has his place to work, but Alexis, she doesn't have that currently in their home. And so I felt like her studio is kind of like her going to work, or her getting into the mood to go to work, because I don't know, I feel like that kind of space is important, because even though I do work a regular job, and I also do consider, well, hopefully one day, this will be my work, and my dedicated space is at my desk. That's where I do my work. I feel like it's important to have a space, even if you're like a person who works at home. I feel like it's important to dedicate a space just for your work. And in the bedrooms, I didn't really want to use carpets because I don't really like carpets. I prefer the rugs, but I felt like because this is kind of like an older home, I think you would see more carpets in older homes than you would newer homes, especially if like this is a home that's had multiple owners. Like maybe the original people who built this house, they had all wood flooring in the house, and then the owners after that, they didn't like the wood flooring, and so they added some things. They may have updated some things, but it's kind of not finished. So I don't know, maybe that might be something else that's kind of cool. Like maybe when Cassie gets older and one of her daughters takes over the house, maybe they might remodel the house again, and maybe they'll make it different and completely their own. Like you can kind of see that in the room as well. Like I think in Cassie's room, I kind of did make it look a little bit modern, or I don't know, I feel like the rooms kind of look different compared to the rest of the house, especially like the daughter's room. Like obviously I don't think that this is something that they moved into. I think maybe this is something that she treated her girls and her with, as they're moving into this new space, and so they get to like, this is where you're going to spend most of your time at, so you might as well make it comfortable and a perfect fit for you. Obviously I think I did include some like more modern pieces, but ultimately I think I wanted to give the house a more older feel to it, like it's been here for a while, and I think I did a pretty good job at accomplishing that. And because the space in the girls' room is kind of shared, I kind of wanted to like include elements for both of them. I didn't want to make like the youngest daughter be like super goth or super rebellious, because I feel like that's not her. Obviously I think she's gonna be like the type of kid, like she's going to experience her childhood. I feel like with the older daughter, it's not that her childhood was taken from her, but it's almost like she like sacrificed it almost in a way. Like she voluntarily gave up her childhood to help out her mom, and her youngest daughter didn't have to. So it's kind of like, she's gonna, I don't know, it's kind of like she's like, I see like these TikToks about how like their younger sister were like almost like little devils or demons, and then they grew up to be like super angelic and nice and stuff like that. And so I think that's kind of like what inspired my idea for the youngest daughter too, if that makes any sense at all. Like if you can envision, like, I don't know, like I feel like maybe to Cassie, like her youngest daughter isn't that bad, but maybe she gives her youngest daughter, maybe she gives the older daughter hell. Like she thinks, like the oldest daughter thinks that her little sister literally came from hell or something like that, because she's so annoying. Like I don't know, and plus because like the older sister, she kind of plays mom, and the youngest sister, she's like, no, you're not my mom, you can't tell me what to do, I'm not listening to you. So I think it's kind of like the dynamic that they have. But yeah, for the mom's room, I kind of wanted to make it like that's her space, that's her sacred space, and also I think she shares it with the cat as well. For the girls' room, I didn't want to make it look like really, really childish with a whole bunch of toys, because I feel like even the youngest daughter, she's most likely going to be aging up soon into a teenager. So I felt like it was kind of like, I don't think she really plays too much with toys. I feel like she's more interested in like after school activities and hanging out with her friends. And plus, they've just moved into this neighborhood, so I think that's kind of like her interest right now, is going out and exploring the neighborhood. Um, I kind of think it's kind of funny too to have closets in The Sims 4, but I think now with Dream Home Decorator, you can kind of pull that off better with having like walk-in closets. And I don't think that Alexis, I mean, where did Alexis come from? I guess it's because I did intend for this to be the Itsuki's new home, but like I said earlier, the house ended up being too expensive for what the Itsuki family is currently looking for. But I just thought it was kind of cool to add a walk-in closet to this room because it ended up being really really big, because at first I wanted to have this house be a three bedroom and probably two bedroom, but the floor plan just wasn't working out, so I just had it be a two bedroom, which that's another reason why I couldn't let the Itsuki family have this house, because I really really want them to have at least a three bedroom house and a two bedroom house. Even if like at first I did have it planned to like maybe convert the garage into a room for Nakomi, because so he could have like his own little space, and like like he's renovated the garage to be like almost like a small apartment for him. But like I said, I didn't really think too much about the floor plan, and so it worked out in the end because I was able to convert the what was going to be a garage into a living room instead. um I don't think I have anything else to say about this build. By the time I edit it, we'll finish editing it and get it uploaded to YouTube, I'll probably make the family. And so by the time it's uploaded, I'll have this house uploaded to the gallery, and I'll also make the family for this house and put them on the gallery as well. So in the description, I'll put all my information in there so you can find this house and find the family and maybe play with them and probably give Cassie and her girls the life that they deserve. But feel free to let me know in the comments down below if you do decide to play with this family, and let me know, what's going on, because I feel like even if you have like a similar backstory to a family, everyone's play style is different. So I don't know, people might come up with like their own storylines. So I think that'll be interesting to read. Also, let me know in the comments if you like this build or not. And if you did, please feel free to subscribe and like this video. I will appreciate that a bunch. But yeah, the rest of this, I think I'm done recording my voice. I'm just going to go ahead and play my music. And so you can enjoy the rest of the build and also the walkthrough at the end.